welcome to my video series, The Heroine's Journey. I'm Susanna Liller, and it's my pleasure to be your guide on what I call your epic journey of transformation. That's also the name of my online self-paced, free to you course, Your Epic Journey of Transformation. Just go to my website, susannaliller.com, and click on the school drop down, and you'll find it. And what's the school? It's the School for Real Life Heroines, and you'll see more information about it there too. And by the way, you are a real life heroine. It's so important to me that all women know this, that they are much bigger than they think they are, that they are heroines, that they are on this incredible journey. I wanted it to be free and accessible to everyone so they would get my message. So if you're looking for a change, you've come to the right place. My message in all that I do, the book I've written, You Are a Heroine, a retelling of the hero's journey, my blog, my podcast, my website, is that you, my dear, are a heroine. You think you're ordinary, but you're not. You are a real heroine on a real life journey of discovery, a journey to discover your true and authentic self, your awesome and extraordinary self. I'm doing this video and the next set of videos about the tools that I use in my course that I ask the people enrolled to practice and use. This video features just an amazing, one of my favorite ever tools developed by Julia Cameron called Morning Pages. And she is the author of the book and many, many other books, but the book, The Artist's Way, which has had its 25th anniversary, and that was back in 2016. And students, those of you that are in the course, I introduce Morning Pages in Module 1, Lesson 6, so you can find what I have to say about them there. And this is meant to add to that. So Julia's mission is to get everyone to understand that they are creative, that they're linked to the great creator, whatever that is for you. And she's quick to explain, and I believe the same thing. You don't have to believe in God. She tells us, just think of it however it might work for you. You can call it higher power, the universe, angels, something greater, or a form of spiritual electricity, spiritual essence. And she believes that everyone is a channel for spiritual energy to enter the world, which is why, and I agree with her, and which is why I say, because your form, your channel is the only one ever in time that will be just you, that it's so important to allow you to open that, learn how to open it, and allow spiritual energy to come through you, your unique channel. So, as I said, she's the author of many books, actually more than 40. The Artist's Way has sold over 1 million copies. And the idea for it, where it was birthed, was from a class she taught starting in 1978 for artists on how to unblock their creativity. And she based it on a process she used herself, her own creative process, practice, how she unblocked. She became sober and began writing these pages, this process, to unblock herself. And she stresses that it's simple, and it is simple, and she wanted to keep it simple. She said things like this to her students: creativity is like crabgrass. It springs back with the smallest, simplest bit of care. And she says, your artist is a child who needs to be fed. And we feed them by writing morning pages. And she believes creativity is our true nature. And she explains that what we're doing is creating pathways in our consciousness through which the creative forces can operate. Once you agree to clearing the pathways, your creativity emerges, and it does. So, talk about a heroine's journey. She is a quintessential heroine. The heroine's journey starts with a call, a soul's call to do something, to make a change. And then, if you agree to respond to that call and to do it, then you go on a journey, a heroine's journey into the unknown. So she was walking in the West Village of New York City, and she says, she doesn't call it a call. She said she got a marching order. Same thing as a call in my book. She said, I was walking on a cobblestone street with beautiful afternoon light. And the next minute, I suddenly knew I should begin teaching people, groups of people, how to unblock. And so she started to. She said that somebody sent her somebody, word of mouth began to happen. More and more people came her way. A school nearby said, come and teach a class. And she just kept doing it until her partner, Mark Bryan, said, we have to write this down. Together, they just put it together and started making copies and sending it out. A publisher got a hold of it, and the rest was history. So I myself introduced these morning pages to my coaching clients and women's empowerment groups in my workshops before I even developed the heroine, even heard of the heroine's journey and developed the course. I've been using it for a long time to help women and myself get clear for a long time, since early 2000s. I've recommended these morning pages and their accompanying artist state exercise to hundreds of women. So in order to learn more about the morning pages, we need to talk a little more about Julia. This book, which was just reprinted, 25th anniversary edition, is from Penguin Publishing Group, and it was first published in 1992. And it's much more of a book, really. It's a movement following her teachings for how to get in touch with your own creativity. So there are 12 weeks that are outlined in the book, and there are exercises, which she wouldn't necessarily call them exercises, tasks, and she believes in having fun with this. And you get a lot in those 12 weeks that she outlines for you. And all through those 12 weeks, every single day, she says, you have to write the pages. The first thing when you get up in the morning, before you get going and your brain starts taking over, she wants you to stay in your artist's brain, which is not your logical brain. And she just has you write 3 pages of whatever crosses your mind. And so if you've been keeping a journal and you sit down and you look at the first page and say, all right, what do I want to write about today? I want to write about what I did this morning and then this afternoon, or maybe this thing that happened to me. That is not morning pages. Morning pages are whatever crosses your mind. So it's really stream of consciousness writing. So it could be, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is hard. I don't want to do it. I've only gotten 3 lines and I have to do 3 pages. Why do you have to do 3 pages? It could be all your rumbling and grumbling. But as she says, it's a way of vacuuming out your brain, getting all that rumbling and grumbling out on the page. So it's not up here. Let me also say, we're talking 8.5 by 11 pages. And she has her own, you can get your own journal, but here's mine. I use her morning pages journal to be sure that I'm writing 3 big pages, 8.5 by 11, with wonderful quotations. She is kind of known for the quotation she finds. The page I just opened to, you may well be experiencing a sense of both bafflement and faith. You are no longer stuck, but you cannot tell where you are going. For me, this is such a perfect tool to give heroines on their heroine's journey, because often we answer that call, cross the threshold, we're out in the unknown, we don't know where we're going, but we get clues from this writing. So the other thing I want to mention to you is that, of course, she has a website. It's juliacameronlive.com. And on that website, you'll find her online course, her own online course, which takes you through the book, through those same 12 weeks. So you go with her through it for a fee. But she also, when she published this book, at the back of the book, she has instructions of how to start your own Artist's Way group and to gather your friends, gather people together and do it together. And which is how she created a movement of all the people that have discovered it and who are doing it and learning and all over the world. So if you're listening to all this and you're saying, but Susanna, I'm not creative, I'm not an artist. And certainly I've led groups through the 12 weeks and have had people quit saying, I'm not an artist. And so what she says, and really her whole book is about convincing you that you're wrong if you say that. And also this book is for any kind of creative endeavor. It's not just painters or writers. It could be, living your life is a creative act. So it's not just that particular role artist. But she says we are all creative. There is no distinction in her mind, between creativity and spirituality. She says pages are a spiritual ham radio set to contact the creator within. And again, you are clearing pathways. So it's a spiritual path. For me, I've talked to you about the heroine's journey being a spiritual path. So this is again why it's such an important tool for heroines to have. She recommends them again for everyone, creators in every type of endeavor. And a way to think about it too is clearing away the junk and again, getting it on the page early in the morning, all that negativity. It gets in the way of our creativity and our being our best. And so on the heroine's journey, we talk about the threshold guardians always yammering at you with their negative, you're too old, you can't do this, you're going to look stupid, you don't know how to draw, you don't know how to write, you don't know how to, all the stuff they say. It's a way to get rid of that naysaying of the threshold guardians. I call it vacuuming out your brain, so your best self can come shining through. So actually there are, for her, 2 basic tools. One is the morning pages, and then the second is the artist's date. So the first is about sending, and the second is about receiving. And she says, really, the artist's date is a date having fun. She said, your artist needs to be taken out, pampered, and listened to. Your artist, she tells us, is a child. We have to treat them well and nurture them and let them play and play with them. And so we're not going to go into the artist date in this particular video, but I'll tell you that my heroines taking my course, the women I've worked with, the artist date is always the hardest for them because it's doing something good for themselves. Just 1 hour a week, 1 to 2 hours a week, going out and doing something fun just for you. It's hard for women to do. But what I've heard from my clients when I give them the assignment to do morning pages is that it's hard. It's hard to get into the habit. It's hard to lose the critic in your head that tells you you should be doing them nicely and your printing is bad or your writing is bad or you're making spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes. And of course, none of that matters. There's no way to do wrong morning pages. You are just letting your hand move across the page and writing whatever is coming across your mind. And if nothing is, then it's okay to write, I have nothing to write. I have nothing to write. Once they get into it, they get over that hump, then they use it to work through problems, getting all their complaints down. And maybe this doesn't happen initially, but then answers start to come on the page too, or options, things they might not have thought of. And I do believe this happens to me. I believe it happens to others. They have told me that spiritual, whatever you want to call it, often comes up on the page too. It's interesting. It almost always seems to appear after the first page and a half. You kind of get all the gunk out, and then that channel is cleared and things can come through. It's like you have to get the detritus out of the rusty pipe so the clear water can flow through. You're unblocking. What I've experienced is my writing in the morning is a welcome release, and I like it that there's no thought involved. I do it before my meditation, which is what Julia suggests, because again, you're clearing the pathway so that when you do meditate, whatever comes through or wants to come through, it's easier. Again, I like the no thinkings, particularly early in the morning. And at first it was hard. I wanted to edit. It was a former English teacher. And then the thought, what if somebody reads it? Oh no. But she is very careful to say, don't let anybody read it. And even you shouldn't read it. And I think she says, don't even start reading your pages until you get to week 8 or so. So it's just keep writing is the exercise, feeding that inner child. And then the way I see results is ideas come to me, not necessarily even as I'm writing, but later on in the day, I notice myself getting more creative ideas just kind of coming to me. It's sort of like I've started an engine. So definitely helping me be unblocked. And also ideas come up on the pages, ideas for writing, for stories, how to approach something. And already I've said that that women, myself included, use it to work through problems. Just recently, I was working with some women and they were having problems with their families, and they decided to just lay it all out in the pages. And it was helpful to them. It was a helpful way to process. I have attended 2 of Julia Cameron's retreats in Kripalu in Western Massachusetts and loved every minute. And I've just signed up myself to take her online course. And I've also noticed that Kripalu is offering those retreats that they did in person with her online. So that would be something else for you to check out. So it's a tool. It's a tool that I highly recommend. It's a way to help you in your life, help you unblock. Julia tells us really, we are all blocked creatives to some extent. And it's because of what our culture does to us, what our maybe very well-meaning 2nd grade teacher told us, or our very well-meaning music director told us, you can't sing, you can't draw. It's a way of unblocking what's real inside of us and letting it come out. So I hope you'll try it. And Get yourself a book. You don't have to get her Morning Pages journal, and 3 pages every morning. First thing, 8.5 by 11. Whatever comes across your mind, just let your hand move across the page. You don't have to go fast, but just keep writing. And if you stall out, say, I'm stalled out. I don't like this. Why did Susanna even recommend it? This is stupid. Whatever, whatever comes up, write it down, get it out, and then see what happens. See how it works for you. I hope it works for you as well as it has worked for me and for the people that I have coached and worked with. So good luck to you. Thank you very much for joining me on this video. We're going to do another one in another couple weeks, and we will be featuring another tool and another teacher who has helped me and who I now share her work with the students in my course. So remember, always, you are a heroine on an epic journey of transformation.